Okay, so let's talk about the pyramids of Giza. I know you've seen them in history books or wall art or postcards, but what if I told you the biggest mysteries aren't what we can see, but what's totally hidden? Because there is some major stuff hiding just beneath the surface, and the science is finally catching up. So let's start with the hard evidence. In 2017, researchers used this wild tech called muon radiography. It's basically like giving the pyramid an X-ray, but with cosmic rays from space. Seriously. And what they found inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu was just like, wow. They discovered a massive hidden void. And when I say massive, I mean it's about as big as a passenger jet. Imagine a whole airplane just chilling inside the pyramid, completely sealed off. They call it the Big Void. No one has stepped inside it yet, and no one knows why it's there. Was it a construction feature? A secret chamber? The possibilities are endless, and the suspense is almost annoying. Then, just as we were getting over that, the same team, a company called Scan Pyramids, did it again in 2023. They confirmed another hidden corridor, this one right behind the pyramid's original entrance. Again, sealed, dark, and completely untouched for 4,500 years. The air in there is literally ancient. If you're the kind of person who gets excited about unopened doors, this is the Super Bowl. And then in 2025, things got even spicier. A different group of Italian researchers used ground-penetrating radar and claimed something shocking, that there's an entire network of underground chambers beneath the Giza Plateau. Not just, a tunnel here or there, but a sprawling grid of halls and shafts going down 1.5 miles. If that's true, it completely rewrites the story of ancient Egypt. The pyramids seem to showcase the intro to something way bigger. Of course, you can't make a claim that big without a little drama. Mainstream archaeologists like world-renowned Dr. Zahi Hawass called the radar results total nonsense. But here's the tea. You know how it is. Scientists don't usually get this worked up unless there's at least a little fire behind the smoke. The community is divided. The arguments are heated. And honestly, I am so here for it. Is it a groundbreaking discovery or just noise? The mystery is half the fun. Okay, so we've talked about the science and history, which is mind-blowing enough. But now let's get into the juicy stuff. Because underneath all the engineering, there's this whole other layer of pure mystery. We're talking myths and legends. The big one is the Hall of Records. For centuries, people have whispered about a secret library tucked deep beneath the Giza Plateau, maybe under the Sphinx's paws, holding knowledge that could rewrite history. And this is where it gets wild. In the 1930s, an American mystic named Edgar Cayce, also known as the Sleeping Prophet, claimed it held the surviving knowledge of Atlantis. Yes, that Atlantis. He said refugees from the sunken city brought their advanced wisdom to Egypt and stored it there for a future generation. Can you imagine? What's fascinating is the ancient Egyptians had a similar concept, the halls of Amenti. In their beliefs, this was a metaphysical space where otherworldly passage souls navigated after death. So, we have a modern myth of a physical library and an ancient myth of a spiritual one, both centered right here. Very, very cool to think about. And here's the part that gives me goosebumps. Modern science starts scanning the pyramids and finds voids, hidden chambers, unexplained empty spaces like the Big Void discovered in 2017. It's not proof of Atlantis, but it's just enough of a wink from history to make you go, and keep that door of possibility cracked open. Honestly, how can you not wonder? You're looking at these mountains of stone, perfectly aligned with constellations, built with blocks heavier than a dozen elephants. And experts argue about how it was even possible. You have to let your imagination run wild and think, maybe there's a secret here, bigger than we can comprehend. All right, so now I want to dive into the theories that make mainstream Egyptologists roll their eyes far into the back of their heads. Forget what you learned in history class. We're talking the extraterrestrial angle. So, like, one of the biggest theories is that the pyramids were not just tombs, but actual machines. We're talking massive power plants. The idea is that the specific materials, like limestone and granite, they acted like a giant resonator to harness the Earth's natural vibrations to generate wireless energy. Can you even imagine an ancient civilization so high-tech that they were powered by the pyramids themselves? Where would they have received that kind of knowledge in the first place? And if that's not enough, how about this? What if they were just giant welcome signs for alien visitors? The precision is actually insane. The Great Pyramid is aligned to true north with an accuracy we cannot even replicate today. And the 3 Giza pyramids perfectly mirror the stars in Orion's belt. Coincidence, or a cosmic GPS for our ancient astronaut friends? Okay, but maybe aliens are too conspiracy for you. Let's talk about a lost civilization, like something from the Atlantis myth. There's a pre-flood theory that argues the pyramids are way older than 4,500 years, like tens of thousands of years older, built by a super advanced civilization, wiped out by a global cataclysm. Mainstream science says no way, of course. But, and this is obviously a huge but, what about those radar scans showing massive unexplored chambers deep beneath the Giza plateau? If there are entire cities buried under the sand, then maybe the timelines we've been fed are negotiable. And that's the part you can't ignore. Every time we peel back a layer, we don't find fewer questions. We end up asking a ton more. And that's either frustrating or exhilarating, depending on how much you like a little mystery with your history. So here's the question I'll leave you with. Are the pyramids just monuments to human ingenuity, or are they something entirely different, a part of a history that humanity is not ready to face yet? What do you think is really under there? A forgotten library, a lost city, or just more rocks and dust that make for terrible clickbait? If you love this type of content, a like and subscribe would be super appreciated. I love talking about all things strange and unconventional, and am happy to wax poetic to an audience that gets it. And tell me in the comments, do you buy the alien and Atlantis angle, or do you think this is all hype wrapped in limestone?